I forgot how long I actually take to like start these things. So I guess we're doing this again, which, you know, is kind of exciting for me. Probably like not a whole lot of other people, but it's exciting for me. It's been a while. I hope you're doing good. I cut off all my hair. That's really all that's changed. That's a lie. A lot has changed. But my hair is the only change we're gonna talk about. And the rest of it, I guess you'll figure out along the way. So I wanted to film a video about this in like June or May of last year or whenever it was, and then my editing software crashed, so I wasn't able to make any videos for a while. It was an unwanted hiatus, probably a much needed hiatus, but now I have the software again and I'm excited to start doing stuff again for this YouTube channel. I hope that you guys still enjoy it, because quite honestly the content's not going to change all that much. But I'm back regardless, so I hope you're all okay with me taking up your time again. I'm also kind of glad that I didn't get to put this out when I wanted to, because a lot more has happened to develop the story, and it's all going to wrap up nicely and neatly, and that just makes me very happy. So without further ado, let's stop making this video longer than it needs to be, because it already always is. That hasn't changed either. My videos are really long. I'm sorry. Years back, when I was still like frequenting Tumblr all the time, there's a post that I saw that was pretty much requesting a rock opera of Hades and Persephone, with the leads being played by the musical artists Hozier and Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine, which I think we all kind of agree would be pretty awesome. That would be super cool. But I'd seen that post a million times and didn't really give it much thought. Randomly last year, I actually thought about that post and was like, why hasn't this been done? Would that not be the most amazing thing ever? I wonder if there's even a musical that already exists about these characters that we could just like throw these actors into. There has to be something written about them. I mean, it's pretty popular Greek mythology. But I thought, okay, why not? We'll look into it. And I found a musical that I have since been obsessed with. I'm glad that this much time has passed because I'm still not over how good it is. I love this show. It's a show called Hadestown. Hadestown was initially just an album, like folk music album created by Anais Mitchell, I want to say her name is. I might be wrong about that. But she made just a bunch of musical, beautiful songs that kind of wrapped around the story of Hades, and then turned those songs into an actual musical. The music is kind of country and folksy at times, just because that was the style of the original album, but it's still, you know, very musical theater, drama, romance, like yearning, I am songs. And I honestly haven't been able to stop listening to the soundtrack since I first heard it. There's only a few people I know of that actually know this show, and I want everyone to know it. I want everyone to love this show. A not so short summary, so Hadestown is actually about two couples, Hades and Persephone, and the probably less popular story of Orpheus and Eurydice. Their story is also a big part of Greek mythology, probably a little less famous, probably a little less studied. Sometimes I've heard that Orpheus is a father and Eurydice is a daughter. Sometimes I've heard that they're two lovers. There's different versions of it. But in this version, the two are in love. They are a romantic couple, and they're living during a time similar to the Great Depression. Hades, as we know him, as, you know, ruler of the underworld from Greek mythology, in this show is like a factory owner. He is the person in charge of Hadestown, which is not hell or the underworld as we've come to know it, but it's this industrial factory town where like all of the jobs are, and it's like clouded with smoke, and they're working indoors all the time. And obviously that's where industry is. They're making all this money. Everyone around them is pretty impoverished, but this is where like all the workers are going. This is where people are trying to save their futures, essentially. Similar to the original story, Persephone, his wife, is the one who goes to the overworld and goes back to Hadestown. She takes the train back and forth, and she's the one who gets to see outside of the factory while everyone else is pretty much trapped down there working, slaving away at this factory. Orpheus and Eurydice are a young couple very much in love, and Orpheus is a musician. He wants to get by with his music. That's how he plans to make a future for the family. Eurydice, on the other hand, is a little more logical and doesn't see food on the table. She is worried. It's not that she doesn't love Orpheus, but she wants someone to provide for her and make her feel comfortable in this time of desperation, quite honestly. On one of Persephone's visits, she comes and sees the couple, and Orpheus very clearly sees that Persephone is unhappy, that Hades is treating her terribly, that she is just not content with this relationship. He sees Hades as this awful slave driver. Eurydice, on the other hand, hears about Hadestown and what's going on there and thinks, stability. Tensions start to grow between the two couples. Eurydice feels that she can't depend on Orpheus anymore. Persephone is absolutely exhausted by Hades putting so much into this work and this awful labor and not really showing her what true love is, while Hades thinks that he is showing her love by providing for her and creating the stable future for her. Hades, I guess out of spite, goes to the overworld to try to find someone who can appreciate the kind of future that he's building, and he finds Eurydice, trying to convince her to come back with him to Hades Town, where he can provide for her. But when Orpheus finds out that Eurydice has been enticed and persuaded by Hades, he decides he's going to go where he's not allowed to go in order to get Eurydice back. So the conflicts in each relationship are simple. There's lack of communication, different wants and needs. Someone needs to provide for their livelihood while someone else just wants to focus on the love and the relationship itself. And the story pretty much shows what great lengths they'll go to in order to save these relationships. I'm sorry to say that if you know the Greek mythology already, like if those stories are already known to you, none of the show is really going to be a surprise. But even though I knew what the ending was going to be because I know the originals, it was still incredibly entertaining for me. I still was very much invested in the story. Admittedly, when I first listened to the soundtrack, my initial thought was, okay, but can Hozier do this? Can I see Hozier playing Hades? And you know, I probably could. But something in me tells me he might be more of an Orpheus. I'm not sure. The music's very much not his style or Florence and the Machine's style, but I could still see them pulling it off. If they're interested, just saying, it's an idea. Back when I was looking this up originally, it was still an off-Broadway show. It is now, as of this month, officially on Broadway. Tickets have been selling really well, according to every time I've tried to buy a ticket. So I'm planning on going this summer. I don't know when. If anyone's interested, let me know. Let's do the thing, because I actually really want to go see this show. I want to experience it for myself because I've loved all of the audio recordings. I've loved the snippets of videos that I've seen. I want to make it a reality for me. Fun fact, both in the off-Broadway version and in this Broadway version, Patrick Page is playing Hades, which is kind of the most awesome thing for me. I love his work. If you don't know what he's done, you should definitely look into him. He has his own website that you can look at. My personal, private, biased favorite might have to be Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame, you know? He didn't do the Disney version, he did the stage version, but I absolutely adore his version of all of those songs, so I want to see him live. I don't know that anyone who's watching this actually works for the Hades Town team or even cares or has power over it. I'm just saying, I want to go this summer. I want to see Patrick Page. I'm sure you have other people lined up after him, but I want to see Patrick Page. Please just make this happen. As an interesting side story, after falling in love with Hades Town, I started to listen to Hozier's music again, which I've always adored, and I just really missed him as a musical force. I really was so excited to hear him again, and that was when he announced that he was going to be touring. Unfortunately, I didn't get tickets for either of his tours, but I was still excited about the fact that he was going to make music again, that he was going to perform again, because honestly, Hozier was the reason that I even went on this whole research journey in the first place. Hozier's album, Wasteland Baby, is now out. It's amazing, and he has a song called Talk, which I don't know if he knows about this. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I think it's very much on purpose. So his song Talk, the first verse, the lyrics are, I'd be the voice that urged Orpheus when her body was found. I'd be the choiceless hope and grief that drove him underground. I'd be the dreadful need in the devotee that made him turn around. And I'd be the immediate forgiveness in Eurydice. He knows. He knows. There's no other option. That's all it can be. I think he knows. I think he's playing with my heart personally, and probably somebody else who went on this exact same quest as I did. He knows, and now all he needs to do is get the role. So people in the Hades Town team that don't have any power over whether or not I get to see Patrick Page, I'm just saying, if you have to replace him, Hozier's an option. Alright, that's all. I'm done rambling. Please go check out this show. Please fall in love with it. Please tell me if you want to come see it with me. And if there's any other new shows that you recommend that you think I would like, please let me know. Because I'm a musical theater geek and I love learning about new shows. I don't get to do it as often as I'd like. So pretty please send them my way. That's all, and we'll see when another one of these gets posted again. Love, Sammy.